Welcome to the Ardhanarishwara Temple. This is Sunday service. We are kicking off Pride Month. Happy Pride, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And now for an invocation. Beloved congregation, as we gather here today, let us invoke the divine presence of Ardhanarishwara. Ardhanarishwara, the divine union of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, represents the harmonious integration of masculine and feminine energies, symbolizing the union of all dualities. In this sacred moment, let us embrace the wisdom and grace of Ardhanarishwara, recognizing that within each of us resides the masculine and feminine qualities, both. May we honor and celebrate the diversity of gender expressions, affirming the inherent worth and dignity of every individual. As we reflect on a sermon by Reverend Benjamin Cremer and his message of inclusivity, let us draw strength from the image of Ardhanarishwara, reminding us that true unity is found in embracing and respecting all aspects of our shared humanity. May Ardhanarishwara bless our time together, guiding us toward a deeper understanding and appreciation of the diverse tapestry of life. Let us embody the principles of love, compassion, and acceptance as we navigate our spiritual journeys and work toward building a more inclusive and harmonious world. In the name of Ardhanarishwara, we invoke these blessings. Amen. Sisters and brothers of all faiths, I come before you today to share a sermon written by Reverend Benjamin Cremer, a Christian minister. As an interfaith congregation, we believe in celebrating diverse perspectives and championing the ideas of others. Today, I bring you Reverend Ben's powerful words on the topic of unity and understanding. Let us delve into his sermon titled, "Why Fighting About Rainbows Isn't Biblical." Recently, we have witnessed a surge of backlash against corporations that embrace the LGBTQ community in their advertising and merchandise. The hostility and demonization directed toward the LGBTQ community, particularly fueled by political leaders, deeply troubles and breaks our hearts. It is disheartening to witness fellow believers in Jesus easily swayed by toxic political rhetoric against another group of people. It also reveals the pre-existing fear and hostility within those who claim to follow Jesus, which toxic political rhetoric can easily provoke. The intertwining of these two phenomena is undeniable. Let us take a moment to reflect on how American Christians would respond if another religious community were to engage in similar political behavior. What if people from another faith mounted a backlash against a Christian store like Hobby Lobby, demanding the removal of explicitly Christian merchandise? What if they insisted on displaying their own religious laws in our schools and courtrooms? What if they sought to impose their definition of morality on individual healthcare decisions through legislation? What if they claimed that the United States was founded solely on the principles and demanded the influence of their sacred texts upon the nation's laws? Surely such actions would stir outrage within the American Christian community, and rightfully so. Yet we must ask ourselves why it is challenging for some to recognize the absurdity of similar actions within Christianity itself. These actions seem contradictory to Christ's teaching to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, Matthew 7:12. Unfortunately, I believe that this arrogance stems from both religious and political pride. The idea of a Christian nation has led many Christians to believe that God has exclusively given the United States to us. Combined with the arrogant conviction that we alone possess absolute truth, this belief leads to the dangerous assumption that we alone own morality and can dictate how everyone should conduct themselves regarding marriage and human sexuality. This mentality fuels concerted efforts to enforce our beliefs on others through legislation while ironically championing the notion of freedom. One manifestation of this theological arrogance can be seen in the discourse surrounding rainbows. I recently received an angry message repeating rhetoric I have encountered far too often. The LGBTQ community hijacked the rainbow. Such a statement implies that someone else originally owned the rainbow, and the LGBTQ community supposedly hijacked it for their own purposes. But who truly owned the rainbow first? Interestingly, rainbows hold significant symbolism in many other religions and mythologies throughout history, some predating the Abrahamic faiths. Therefore, claiming exclusive rights to the rainbow not only disregards history, but also lacks religious humility. What particularly convicts me is how hostility directed toward the LGBTQ community contradicts the way God actually uses the rainbow in the book of Genesis. In the ancient world, nearly every civilization had a flood narrative within their creation accounts, from Egypt to Babylon, from Mesopotamia to many others. A flood story played a central role in their understanding of creation. I just want to take a detour right here from Reverend Ben's sermon and note that even if you are not religious, science acknowledges the Younger Dryas. Google it. Google the Younger Dryas, Dryas. And now back to Reverend Ben's sermon. One of the most famous is the Epic of Gilgamesh, which predates the writing of Genesis creation accounts. Considering that the flood stories are widespread and influential in Abraham's time and subsequent generations, it is likely that some flood-related event had occurred, and these narratives were their way of comprehending it. In most other ancient creation accounts, the hero had to appease, manipulate, bribe, or defeat the gods in order to prevent the complete destruction of humanity. Some even constructed large boats to save all living creatures. The gods portrayed in these narratives were violent and vengeful, and it was up to the hero to intercede. However, the Genesis account stands out in its profound departure from these narratives. While other gods were portrayed as hostile toward humanity, requiring appeasement, manipulation, or bribery, the God of Genesis chooses to partner with humanity. God establishes a covenant, promising never to bring about such violent destruction again. And what serves as the sign of this covenant, this promise? God says, I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Genesis 9:14 and 15. Notice how God reiterates this 3 times in the passage, emphasizing the seriousness of the covenant. Also observe that this is a sign made by God for God. When the rainbow appears, God says, I will remember my covenant between me and you. Now, here comes the truly moving and profound aspect. In the Hebrew language, there is no specific word for rainbow. In this passage, the Hebrew word used is keshet, which simply means bow. This word is used more than 70 times in the Hebrew Bible, always referring to bows, arrows, or archers. Some older English translations, such as the King James Version, even use bow instead of rainbow in Genesis 9. This paints a powerful image of God laying down his weapon against the world, disarming himself. Moreover, consider the shape of a rainbow. If it were an archer's bow, where would the arrow be pointing? It no longer points toward the earth, but toward heaven. God not only lays down the weapon of destruction, but also says, I will take the distraction upon myself instead. We can find profound symbolic connections here with Jesus, who as God incarnate took upon himself all the destruction and harm of the world through the cross, establishing the new covenant. Luke 22:20, just as God of Genesis had promised in the old covenant. This context deeply convicts me. When we understand this context, it becomes clear that much of the anger directed toward the LGBTQ community, claiming ownership of the rainbow, violates the very purpose for which God introduced the rainbow in the first place. God gave the rainbow as a symbol of nonviolence, peace, and solidarity with all humanity. It signifies a willingness to bear harm oneself rather than desiring harm to befall others. It represents a commitment to resolve conflicts through a covenant of solidarity and love rather than through wrath and destruction. When Christians engage in hostility and vengeance toward the LGBTQ community, asserting that the rainbow belongs exclusively to us, it is we who are hijacking the rainbow for our own purposes. May it not be so among us. Instead, let us imagine embracing the original intention behind why God introduced the rainbow in Genesis 9 whenever we encounter a rainbow in our culture. Let us remember its message of nonviolence, peace, and solidarity. May it serve as a reminder to extend love, compassion, and understanding to all, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Thank you, Reverend Ben. Powerful words. As an interfaith congregation, let us honor the words of Reverend Ben and recognize the value of diverse perspectives, respecting the wisdom found in other traditions. Together, let us strive to create a world where love, acceptance, and inclusion prevail. Let us champion Reverend Ben's ideas, giving credit and tribute to his powerful words as we share them with our interfaith congregation in this Sunday service. In the spirit of unity, let us reflect on the shared values that underpin our various faith traditions. Compassion, love, and respect for all beings are universal principles that transcend religious boundaries. When we come together as an interfaith community, we enrich our own spiritual journeys and foster a more harmonious society. As we celebrate the diversity of our congregation, let us extend our support and understanding to the LGBTQ community. Let us acknowledge their struggles and affirm their inherent worth and dignity. Together, let us work towards creating a world where everyone is embraced for who they are, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. In conclusion, I invite you to hold Reverend Ben's sermon in your hearts as we navigate our spiritual paths. May we all be inspired by the inclusive message of the rainbow and the profound covenant it represents. Let us reject hostility and embrace love, empathy, and respect. As we champion the ideas of others and honor the wisdom found in various traditions, we come closer to the unity and understanding that transcends religious differences. May the teachings of Reverend Ben resonate within us as we strive to create a world filled with compassion, acceptance, and peace. And may the rainbow serve as a constant reminder to our commitment to building bridges of love and understanding, not only within our interfaith congregation, but also within broader communities. With gratitude for the wisdom of Reverend Ben, I now invite you to reflect on his words and find ways to embody the spirit of unity and inclusivity in your own lives. Let us carry this message forward, sharing it with others and repeating and creating ripples of positive change in the world. May peace and blessings be upon all of us as we continue on our collective journey of faith and understanding. Beloved congregation, let us join together in prayer and offer a heartfelt blessing as we conclude this sermon inspired by Reverend Ben's profound words. Please bow your heads and open your hearts in reverence and reflection. Divine source of love and compassion, we come before you today, humbled by the wisdom shared in this sermon. We express our gratitude for the insights that have touched our souls and expanded our understanding of unity and inclusivity. In this moment of prayer, we seek your guidance and inspiration. Help us embody the teachings we have heard, transforming them into actions of love, acceptance, and understanding. Grant us the strength and courage to transcend our differences and foster harmony within our interfaith community and the world at large. May we be vessels of compassion and extend kindness and support to all, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Bless us with hearts that are open and receptive, ready to embrace diversity and celebrate the beauty of every individual. As we navigate our spiritual paths, may we remember the sacredness of all beings and cultivate a spirit of respect and empathy. Guide us to challenge the biases and prejudices that divide us, fostering a society where love and acceptance are the cornerstones of our interactions. We offer a special prayer for those who have faced discrimination or exclusion. May they find solace, strength, and healing in the knowledge that they are seen, valued, and loved. May they experience acceptance and understanding from their communities and find safe spaces to express their true selves. Divine One, as we conclude this sermon, we ask for your blessings to accompany us on our journeys. Infuse us with the spirit of unity and inclusivity as we go forth, inspiring us to be agents of change in the world. May our words, actions, and intentions be guided by love, compassion, and fostering an atmosphere of harmony and acceptance wherever we tread. With hearts filled with gratitude and hope, We offer this prayer and blessing to you, O Divine Ardhanarishwara. Amen. And now a meditation. Take a moment to find a comfortable position, gently closing your eyes. Allow your breath to settle into a natural rhythm, grounding yourself in the present moment. Reflect on the words of Reverend Ben as we delve into the sermon entitled, Why Fighting About Rainbows Isn't Biblical. Consider the deep wisdom and insights shared, drawing your attention to the message of unity and understanding. Picture in your mind's eye the image of a rainbow, its vibrant colors stretching across the sky. See it as a symbol of beauty, diversity, and inclusivity. Let the rainbow remind you of the covenant that God made in the book of Genesis, a promise to never bring destruction upon earth again. As you contemplate the significance of the rainbow, allow yourself to recognize the inherent value of every individual, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Embrace the teachings of Reverend Ben, acknowledging the need to let go of hostility and instead cultivate compassion, love, and respect for all beings. Imagine yourself extending a hand of acceptance and understanding to those who may have faced discrimination or marginalization. Feel the warmth of compassion radiating from your heart as you embrace the diversity within our interfaith congregation and the world at large. As you breathe in deeply, envision the divine presence of Ardhanarishwara, the embodiment of unity in diversity. Feel the balance of masculine and feminine energies within you, acknowledging the sacredness of all expressions and gender. In this moment of meditation, let us commit ourselves to being agents of change and champions of inclusivity. Pledge to honor the wisdom found in various traditions and to promote a world where love and acceptance prevail. Take a few more breaths, absorbing the serenity and inspiration of this meditation. Know that you carry the essence of the sermon with you as you navigate your spiritual path and engage with others in your daily life. When you are ready, gently open your eyes, carrying the spirit of unity, compassion, and acceptance with you. May the wisdom of this sermon continue to resonate within your being, guiding your actions and fostering a more inclusive and harmonious world. And now a mantra. Ardhanarishwara Mahamantraya Namaha. Salutations to the great mantra of Ardhanarishwara. As you recite this Sanskrit mantra, let its vibrations permeate your being, connecting you to the essence of Ardhanarishwara and the message of unity and understanding. Feel the divine energy flowing within and around you, bringing balance, harmony, and acceptance. Repeat this mantra with reverence, allowing its sacred syllables to awaken a deep sense of oneness and compassion within your heart. May the divine presence of Ardhanarishwara guide your words, thoughts, and actions, leading you toward a more inclusive and harmonious existence. With every repetition, feel your connection to the divine grow stronger, embracing the diversity of all beings and celebrating the inherent worth of every individual. Let this mantra be a powerful reminder of our shared humanity and our collective responsibility to foster love, understanding, and acceptance in the world. As you continue to chant this mantra, may it resonate within your being, permeating your consciousness with the spirit of Ardhanarishwara and transformative power of unity. Embrace this sacred mantra as a tool for self-reflection, growth, and the embodiment of Reverend Ben's teachings on inclusivity and love. Chant with me. Ardhanarishwara Mahamantraya Namaha. Ardhanarishwara Mahamantraya Namaha. Ardhanarishwara Mahamantraya Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for attending our Sunday service. Please join us again next time. Be blissful.